Hello, I hope you are well. Right, being Colour Wheel Garden, I thought this would be a great opportunity to talk about colour. And today what I want to talk about is a suggestion, bringing together two contrasting colours which would normally be very electric and clashing in a wonderful way, but somehow making them wonderfully harmonious. Now, before we start, I want to say one real important thing. I believe when it comes to colour, there are no definite rules, none whatsoever. There are definitely suggestions and there are definitely guidelines, but ultimately when it comes to colour, I think you should follow your heart and go with what makes your heart sing. It's your choice, and what I love you might detest, and what you love someone else might not like. It doesn't matter, it's a personal preference. Colour is so personal to us, and I love a bit of bold colour, but today, just as much as I love bold colours being electric and popping off one another, I want to make them harmonious. So I'm going to show how you could take something as bold as bright orange and zingy green and somehow make them harmonious. So if I take this wonderful calendula from the Calendula Art Shades Mix, it's got this absolutely fantastic neon orange flashing gold light of colour. And if I take this fennel, it's super zingy green. In fact, it's so zingy, it's almost yellow. Now, as you can see, if I put them together and I made an arrangement with ingredients like this, it would be super electric and exciting and invigorating. But for me today, I want to blend these two colours that are almost the opposite on the colour wheel by doing one simple thing. And all I'm doing is I'm picking out shades and tones in different ingredients, and I'm bringing it together. So in effect, I want to literally bridge this gap. So I'll show you what I mean. I've taken here a wonderful Swiss chard leaf, which has got a little bit of that electricness in the stem. And I say a little bit because even though the stem's all that colour, you're only going to see a flash of it through the centre of that leaf. But it's also got the dark earthy green that the calendula stem has, but it's more dark, it's more muted. So I'm bringing in a deeper, darker colour. I believe that if you add zingy electric colours, they really pop to the forefront. So does white, and you have to be careful. I say have to be, you don't have to be anything, but I would suggest being careful with white because it can in particular dominate and bring itself to the forefront, and if that's an effect you're going for, excellent, but sometimes white can have a tendency to take over. So if I use more muted colours like this, I think it brings it down. So if you think of electric colours and light colours coming to the forefront, like a highlighter if you will, and if you think of some muted colours almost being like a contour and making it darker and deeper, that's what we're going to add today. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to look at these shades. I've already got two different shades of green in here, but now I want a different shade of orange. So this is obviously electric, but I want something more muted, more earthy. So this is where something like this wonderful chrysanthemum comes in, but it's still got a bit of brightness to it. Can you see how it's got that slightly golden glowy centre? So it still has a relationship. It's not too flat because I can't get away with having something too flat in here if I want to blend the colours nicely. But you can start to see we've got that orange. This is way more muted. Now another thing you can do, and bear in mind this is absolutely not a hand tie, this is just me showing you the stems together, is you can recess your stems or have them higher or lower in an arrangement as and where you feel. So right there over the top, that calendula is stealing the show, but just underneath it lifts it without taking the attention away. Like I say, this isn't a hand tie, but it's an example. Now something else you could add is more earthy tones. So again, I'm picking out the colour of this Swiss chard leaf, and even though yes it's got that orange, it's slightly more red, and I still want to find something that brings together that fennel. So I'm looking at this chrysanthemum where it's got a bit of the green and a bit of the red. And when you're looking in your seed catalogues or you're looking on websites, what you want to do if you want to bridge the gap between colours is just pick out tones in each and think, oh, maybe you're going for bright purple and bold blue, I don't know. And then you might look in between and you might see a beautiful lilac-y shade that's maybe like Perovskia that would really bridge the gap between the two if that's what you wanted to do. Now, of course, you can still add extra bright colours if you want to lift this. We've still got that zingy green, the golden centre, so something like a marigold would work nicely. See how the golden centre of that just pops off it, and it also bridges in the gap between this calendula and that chrysanthemum. So if I was to put it here, you can see that we're starting to get more of a relationship. We're just thinking all the time about relationships and tone. Like I say, only if this is what you want to do. But we still haven't really managed to get peach orange going all the way over to zingy green. And this is my real key to blending these colours. It's wonderful Rudbeckia Sahara. Now this is where websites can have beautiful photos, but they can be deceiving, because Rudbeckia Sahara, if you look online, almost all the photos of it are these beautiful dusky shades of peach and sand and biscuity tones, and it looks stunning. But having grown it myself, I must say, yes, it does get to that stage, but it gets to that stage just as all the back petals are starting to die, which is a shame, which means it stays this green colour and has a great vase life at this green colour much longer. But I wouldn't have known that just looking at the catalogues. So sometimes you do just have to grow it yourself and find out. So trust the catalogues, trust the websites, but also take it with a pinch of salt. Now that's also if you find a website where they've got photos of arrangements and blogs, they're really, really helpful because it gives you more of an insight of what you're actually getting. But look at what this does. We've got that zingy fennel, that peachy orange, and all of a sudden, look, that matches in with the fennel on that centre green zingy ring. But also if you look where it's just got that flush of peach around the edge, it blends in nicely with this. This is our winner chicken dinner that just brings the whole colour scheme from orange to green harmoniously together. And one final tip, so we've been looking at picking out tones, picking out different shades on the same colour scheme and blending them together, looking at things that have maybe different eyes, where the centre of the flower is the same as one colour, but it has different multi-tones. But the other thing you can do is add an earthy tone like brown if you're wanting to sombre it up, and dot that around. If you can imagine lots of dotted teasels here, that beautiful brown seed head will make it far more earthy, far more muted. And what we've gone from, if you remember at the beginning, was that real electric orange and that real electric green, but we've somehow managed to mute it all down and make it harmonious. So I'm going to take these, make some little arrangement with them, show it with you, and I hope you like the orange and green arrangement, and I hope it's inspired you if you want to make contrasting colours nice and harmonious, ways you could do it. So when you look at your seed shopping catalogues, you can look for things that have the same tone. Anyway, I'm going to go make something and share it with you. See you in a sec. And there we have it, a green and orange arrangement where we've taken the electric orange and the zingy green of this fennel and somehow brought them together to make them harmonious by using different shades of the same colours and picking up on the different tones of plants in other plants, like this gorgeous Rudbeckia Sahara, which has this greeny centre to start off with, but that peachy edge, which really does a great job of bridging that gap between the zingy fennel and this peachy chrysanthemum. And this is my kind of Shrek and Fiona arrangement, if you will, with the orange and the green. I'm going to be going off going, and it just brings me joy. But definitely try this out. I know electric colours look fantastic against each other, but every now and again we want something muted, a bit more harmonious. So if you're looking through the seed catalogues, or if you're online web shopping, or if you're looking wherever you're looking and you're thinking, I want to bridge the gaps, just look out for little tones, whether it's golden centres or little eyes of the chrysanthemums, or whether it's a multi-tone plant. But truthfully, sometimes catalogues can be deceiving. It's far better to see things in real life. Take the Rudbeckia Sahara, for instance. It looks gloriously peach and dusky online and does definitely go that colour, but right for me before it's about to die. So I like to know that it's actually a bit more green with that peachy centre, because that's helpful. Anyway, there you go. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed this, and wishing you all the best. TTFN. Ta-ta for now.